Hi everyone, I'm Katie, an infant toddler Montessori teacher and registered early childhood educator. In today's video, I'm going to talk about toy rotation. What is it and how to do it? So what is toy rotation? It's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is remove the toys that the child is no longer interested in and replace them with new toys or toys that they haven't seen in a while. It keeps toys and materials interesting for much longer, and it eliminates the need for you to buy new toys for every stage of development, because every time you reintroduce an old toy, the child is going to use it differently. This was actually a really cool thing to observe in the classroom because we would rotate the materials, every 2 to 4 weeks, and anytime an old material was reintroduced onto the shelf, the children would work with that material with such confidence because they had grown so much since the last time that they used that material. And so now they're using it with all these new skills, all this new understanding, new vocabulary, and things like that. So it's a really thing to observe when you start to rotate your child's toys in and out. Now, I should add here that there are going to be some toys that don't necessarily need to be rotated back in. And these are the toys that the child has, sort of explored fully. There's nothing more that the child is getting out of these toys. So things like mobiles, those don't need to be rotated back in. The really simple toys that don't have a lot of moving parts or won't allow the child to use it creatively, those ones don't necessarily, the child can definitely sort of grow out of those toys. But when I'm talking about toy rotation, I'm talking about the toys and materials that the child could still learn from. How to do toy rotation. There are no set guidelines on how to do toy rotation. I'm sure some other people will say that it needs to be on a set schedule, they do it every week, they do it every 2 weeks, etc. But here are the guidelines that I followed in the classroom. So the first thing that I would do was I would observe the children. Are there toys that the children simply are not interested in? These are the toys that haven't moved from the shelf in days or weeks. Is the child engaging with the materials on the shelf, or are they looking for other things to do? These are good questions to ask to sort of know whether or not it's time to rotate. So as I said, there is no recommended set schedule for when to rotate materials, but in my experience, children usually need some new materials every 2 to 4 weeks. It really depends on how much time the child is spending with these toys. So if they are out of the house all day, if they're at school, and they're only playing with these toys in the late afternoon and on the weekends, then maybe the toys don't need to be rotated every 2 to 4 weeks. Maybe they can stay on the shelf a little bit longer. But if they're spending more time in their playroom, like if they're not going anywhere throughout the day and they're playing with these toys day in and day out 7 days a week, they might need their toys rotated more often. It's really important to follow the child. Observe, see which materials they're interested in and which ones they're not. Now, it's generally not recommended to rotate all of the materials on the shelf at once. It's important that the child has toys that they recognize when they walk into their playroom. So I'll use this in the context of school. I didn't want the children to show up to school one day and have all of the materials on the shelf be brand new. What I would do is I would usually rotate no more than 50% of the materials that were on each individual shelf, so that I knew that at least 50% of the materials that were there, the children would recognize. The reason why this recognition is important is because it's going to help the child to build their independence and their confidence. When you do decide that it's time to rotate materials, pay attention to what your child's interests are. Ideally, you're building off of previous skills. For example, in the classroom, if the children were working with the box with ball and tray for a while and they had lost interest in that, the next step of that would be the box with balls to push. So they're just sort of taking the next step to build off of those previous skills rather than bringing them all new materials that they're going to have to learn all new skills to be able to use. Build off of previous skills. The other thing to keep in mind is that if your child seems stressed about the idea of toy rotation, you can invite them into the process. Ask them what materials or what toys they would like to keep out and which new ones they would like to add to their shelf. They can help you to put the old toys into storage bins, show them that they're just going to be in the closet for a little while, and reassure them that they're going to be able to play with those toys again later. So that's it. That's toy rotation. The key to toy rotation is observing the child. They will let you know when they have lost interest in the toys that they have in their playroom and when they're ready for new ones. I hope you found today's video helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, it really helps our channel if you like and subscribe. This helps other parents to find our channel. And if you have a question, feel free to comment your question below and we'll answer it in a future video. Take care. Bye!